Rambo in this life. Remarkable. Oh, hi! Hello! How are you? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. I am introing this vlog now because I didn't do it before I started filming, which is actually kind of a good thing because this vlog is literally a hodgepodge. Like, we are just gonna call this like an April monthly vlog because if I'm being honest, this vlog is literally throughout the entire course of April. April was a crazy month. It was very busy. I expected to get more vlogs up than I did, and so this is just like a compilation of a bunch of different things that happened in April, while also reading The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson, which is one of my most anticipated books of the entire year. So I wanted to vlog it. I am a Holly Jackson stan. I love A Good Girl's Guide to Murder so much. It is one of my favorite series of all time. We're gonna pretend that Five Survive does not exist. I just didn't like it, okay? I didn't like it. It has one of my least favorite tropes at the end, so like, I just didn't like it. But I just knew as soon as she announced it that this was going to be right up my street. I knew that I wanted to vlog it, so here we are. This is my vlog for The Reappearance of Rachel Price, while also bringing you along apparently throughout my entire month in April. Look, I didn't mean for it to happen that way, but it did. We're here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and send you back in time to about a month ago when I started this vlog, and then we're just gonna work our way forward. And at the end of this vlog is like kind of present day. So you really are catching up on my life from the past month. So yeah, let's just go ahead and go back in time first. I'll see you there. I decided while I was out grocery shopping to get myself some flowers. Not what you think though. I am not one for like huge bouquets of flowers. Like, don't get me wrong, they're gorgeous, but like that's just, I'm such a simpleton. It's not really my taste, and I wanted some flowers to go on my bookshelf because what I sit in front of on my bookshelf, like that shelf that I have kind of like designed, I have these little like apothecary vials, and so I got these little yellow like bauble. They're called Crispidia. Anyways, I don't know. I'm not a flower gal, but they're like these little yellow baubles. So I got them to like stick in the jar and put those on my shelf for springtime. So I'm gonna cut these right now. I don't know how tall I want them to be, so we're gonna have to see about that and make some adjustments. But yeah, I just got these. I saw them at Trader Joe's and I was like, they were $3. So not like a huge splurge. And I was like, oh, I wanted some. And I was gonna get some fake ones so that I can have them forever, but I just decided to get these instead. And what I've heard is that these actually dry really well. So I'm actually not even gonna put water in these and then just let them dry out over time, and then you can keep them forever and they look cool dry too. My favorite kind of plant, okay? One that I don't have to worry about changing the water. Yes, please. So let's cut these and like make them all pretty on my bookshelf. Are perfect. I freaking love that. So I did them at like different lengths for each one. Oh my god, stop. They like are like so alien-esque, but I freaking love it. So cute. this time I would switch over my capsule to like my spring capsule wardrobe, spring summer-ish. It's a combination. Really, it's just like a warm weather capsule wardrobe. Last year I actually did like my gym clothes as my capsule wardrobe because I was really getting into weightlifting. I'm still into weightlifting, but that's just not the vibe this year. I want my normal clothes out and to like have fun with outfits again, because I love like dressing in autumn, but then there comes a point in the winter where like I'm in hoodies and sweatpants because it is too freaking cold to like even consider putting on anything else. So we've been in that for like a hot minute, and I'm ready to like have some fun with outfits again and like start getting ready again. I say that as it is 20 degrees outside today. We are having a cold spurt. We had some spring weather there for a hot minute, and now we're having a cold spurt again. This is New England for you. It will never make up its mind. So we're in Sprinter right now. So I think I'm just going to swap out a few pieces for the time being, because I feel like I need like a little zhuzh in my wardrobe and get some of my springy clothes out. But I can't go full on because, well, it's 20 degrees and that's just not gonna happen. I still need some sweaters and stuff like that. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna like walk you through the entire thing. I have other capsule videos on my channel if you want to check them out. I actually restarted my YouTube channel with like a lot of minimalism content. So if you like scroll back a while, you will see that. And I do have a lot of videos about capsule wardrobes, minimalist wardrobes, that kind of thing. I'm still really interested in it. I just don't put it as like my main focus. Stop rambling. I'm gonna do that, and you can watch me. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have already seen, but I did get my hair done, and I'm feeling a little bit like Storm or Rogue from X-Men with these like streaks in the front, but it's purposeful. So if you didn't know, I feel like most of you know or have noticed that I have a very prominent genetic gray streak in my hair. It's actually right here. So from here to about here is like a natural gray streak, and it happens on this side too. It's just not as much. It's mostly on one side, but I decided you know what, I just turned 37, which, like, crazy. It's baffling to me that I only have 3 years left in my 30s. That's a lot to process. That is a lot to process. But at the same time, I'm like, I have 3 years left in my 30s. Like, I don't feel quite ready for the 40s yet, so I'm glad I have 3 years left. But that's just a lot to think about. Like, I'm closer to 40. Anyways, we can't get too far into that. That's too deep. That's too deep for right now. I'm 37. I have gray hair. It's fine. I don't mind dyeing my hair, but this part is the part that always grows in. Like, within like 2 weeks, I have a gray root. It's just impossible to keep up with it. It is like, I'm here, I'm large and in charge, and I want to be seen, so I decided to embrace it this time, and luckily my hairdresser is like an angel, and she literally pulled out, like, so delicately all of the gray hairs that I had and left them alone, and then we just made it obviously blonde at the bottom so that I can grow this out completely, and I will just rock my gray streak eventually. Obviously that's going to take a few years for it to actually fully grow out, but my hair grows really fast, so at least there's that. But yeah, I would say like here to like right here is all natural gray hair. So we have a good start already. So we're just gonna let it grow out, and then this side, like I said, is not that bad. Like, it's really just like right here, a little bit underneath. But like this one, there's a lot of it. It's hard to tell on the camera, but there's a lot of it. So we're embracing it. And then I did like a lot of copper, but again, you can't really tell because we're inside, but in the sun there is a lot of copper in here, which I'm very happy about. I was gonna go like full on copper, but my roots are actually looking a lot more ashy these days as I get older. I used to be like full on auburn hair, but now they're looking a little bit ashier, and my hairdresser were like, we just talked it through, so this is what we ended up with. You'll see it in better lighting, obviously. But yeah, so that's the update on that. I had a really good birthday. I didn't really vlog a whole lot of it because I just wanted to like truly enjoy it. But we did have plans with our friends on Saturday. We went to go get pizza. It was great. And then yesterday we went out for coffee and got pastries at my favorite shop. And I have just been spoiled by my friends, and I am just so beyond grateful for like my in real life friends and family, and also all of my online friends. You guys are all amazing. So I'm just feeling very loved. Right now it is, did I say it's Monday? I don't think I did. It's Monday. I can't believe we only have like 5 days left, 4 days left at this point until this album comes out. I feel like my brain is going to be consumed by T-Swizzle literally all week, especially with these clues we're getting. We're getting like these go and find the capital letters in the lyrics, which I know she used to do in her lyric book, and like that's fun. So we're getting like a word of the day each day, so that's fun to like go and see what's happening, try to solve it. I like that. I love me like not over the top Easter eggs. Like these ones I like. I feel like they're not subtle, but they're subtle. They're not like watch this music video 20 times and try to figure out things that probably are, 5 years ahead of time. I like the ones that are like here and now. I enjoy that, and I enjoy like the riddle of it all. So we're getting those. I can't believe it's happening. So anyways, right now I'm gonna take my laptop, I think outside because it's really nice out today, and continue on in my online course that I'm taking for it's just like a bunch of like administrative brush up basically. So I'm taking an online course for that. So I'm gonna have to watch a lot of videos today. So that's the plan. it's Friday. We're having a loaf day. If you don't know what a loaf day is, trust me, you need to schedule them into your life because I just love them. I highly recommend them. You could do it on the weekend if you want. Basically, it's just lazy everything. So loaf, L-O-A-F, is lazy outfit, activity, and food. Like minimal effort on everything all around. So for my lazy outfit, I have my little sweatsuit on. For lazy activity, well, of course we're gonna be reading, which like is productive, but at the same time, I get to just chill and do nothing while I do it. And then food, I don't really know what my lazy food is gonna be today, but I do know that I have dark chocolate peanut butter cups to enjoy at some point, so there's that. That's very exciting. But I just need this. I need to like turn off my brain today and just really not stress about anything, like not worry about life. You know, there's some things going on like behind the scenes in terms of like trying to find the right job, and like interviewing is stressful, and there's just been a couple of other things going on that I'm like, I just need a day. Days. We're loafing today, and I am going to read more in the Reappearance of Rachel Price, but I wanted to give you like my first initial thoughts before I get more into it, because I am up to page 112, so I feel like I have like a good grasp on like what's happening. And what I will say is that I'm really enjoying it so far. I would completely lied. It's not mixed media. I don't know why I was thinking it was. I think because it has like this whole documentary style woven into it that, oh my god, I literally was like, what is that grinding? ZD has now chosen this time to chew her bone. So if you hear that in the background, I apologize. But I thought it was mixed media because it had this TV documentary in it. It's not mixed media by any means, but I'm still loving the story. It has Holly Jackson's writing, which I feel like she has really stepped up her game in this one. There have been some one-liners where I'm like, wow, that's like super poetic, but not like overly done. But I feel like her writing has definitely gotten just so much better, which like you want from an author, you know, you want their writing to grow over time. So I'm definitely enjoying that. So I'm really liking it so far. So in a nutshell on this one, we are following Belle. She is 18 years old. When she was about 2, her mother went missing, and they still don't know what happened to her. They don't know if she was taken, if she ran off, if she was her dad was accused at first, but then released, and she has grown up with him and, you know, the rest of her family, and they're now doing this documentary diving into the case, and they're giving like their take on things, and each individual family member is getting interviewed, and it really brings in the conversation of like how far some of these TV documentaries will go. And I have definitely watched some true crime documentaries. I've definitely watched a lot of true crime documentaries, as well as consumed a lot of podcasts. And I think some of them have been done extremely well and extremely respectful, but there have been a few that have made me really uncomfortable, and like the way they were acting towards the family, and just, you could tell that the family members were so uncomfortable and didn't necessarily want to be doing it, but I'm sure there was some incentive behind it, and it's kind of giving me that, and it's just bringing up that conversation of like how far is too far. And there was definitely a scene, I'm not gonna say what it was, but there was definitely a scene in here in those first 100 pages where I was like fuming mad and just can't even imagine what that would have been like. And just, it made me feel for Belle as a character overall, because she has always been asked like her entire life, do you remember anything about what happened? This girl was 2 years old when her mother was taken. So it's that like forgetful trope, but like you can't blame her, she was 2. Like what do you expect for her to remember? She barely remembers her mother. How is she supposed to know, like remember the circumstances around the day that she went missing? So it's not that like really annoying forgetful trope that I feel like we're seeing a lot recently. There's a different take on it in this, and I really appreciate that, but it just made me feel for her as a character overall. And just this whole family. Like the documentary obviously is just making you feel for them as you're getting kind of each their perspective and their take on it and where they are now. And then, as you can imagine by the title, I just got to this point where Rachel, the mother who has been missing for the past 16 years, reappears, shows up, and they're trying to deal with that, work through their feelings, and figure out like what actually happened to her. She's sharing her story. So we're just like at the very beginning of that right now. And this is a hefty book. This book is 400 pages. 450 pages, somewhere along there, which in my opinion is a little bit long for a thriller, but it is reading very quickly so far. At least for me, those first 100 pages definitely flew. So I'm excited to get back into it and loaf around today. I'm just like, I so need it, and I've been looking forward to it. Yesterday I had an job interview number 3 with this company, which is like a good sign, but just any interview is stressful, and it definitely was a different style of interview. I don't really want to go into it, but it was definitely just different, and it left me feeling all sorts of things. It was basically like a therapy session. It was very uncommon, different, but like not bad. It was good. I don't even know how to explain it. I'm not even gonna go into it. But anyways, it left me feeling all sorts of ways, and so I just need a loaf day. So that's what we're gonna do. We are loafing around. I am here to give you actually a final update because I finished the Reappearance of Rachel Price over the weekend. I actually finished it last night, and I was planning on updating you at like the halfway point, or at least before like the ending, but this was such a page turner that I just couldn't stop and be bothered to film. So I figured, you know what, I don't want to like hinge my reading experience. I'm just gonna go into it, and here we are. I have finished it, and I really really enjoyed this. This is such a page turner. While it's not like a huge new concept for a thriller by any means, I think it was extremely well executed, and for its length, it actually flew by, because this is 430 pages, and normally I would be like, that is entirely too long for a thriller, especially a YA thriller. Is it YA? Nuh-mm. It's like new adult. She's like 17, so it's in that weird range. But normally I would say that 430 pages is entirely too long. However, this read so quickly, at least for my reading experience. I flew through it. Clearly, I didn't want to stop. There was a little bit of a point at like the 3/4 mark where I was like, okay, I'm ready for things to like wrap up now. So I think I'm gonna land somewhere between like a 4.5. I'm not quite completely sure on my rating. It's not quite a 5-star. Like, it's not giving me like that giddy feeling that I get when I give 5-star, but it was so good. So I'm gonna say 4.5, somewhere in there. And one thing that I just absolutely love about Holly Jackson is the way that she does not let any stone go unturned. Like, there are so many things in this story, and it goes in so many different directions because we're following Belle as she's trying to solve kind of what happened to her mother, and then something else happens and she's equally trying to solve that too. I don't want to give anything away. So she's trying to kind of solve 2 crimes in one. There are so many different directions and theories and little things that happen where I have read other thrillers where you're left being like, but wait, what about what happened with this thing? And wait, what happened with this one? Not Holly Jackson. She literally wrapped everything up. I won't say everything wrapped up in a bow, but everything wrapped up. There is nothing in this book left to question. Just when you think, oh, but what about this? She like talks about it and, you know, solves it, and there's an explanation and whatnot, and I just love that. I love that about her. It's one thing that she did really well in the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. Like, that entire series wrapped up and you get so many answers, and same thing with this. And I have read many thrillers in my time where that has not been the case, where you are left going, but what about this? I actually just read Murder Road by Simone St. James, and like, so many questions and so many plot holes, and there is not a single plot hole in this book. And again, you might be reading it being like, oh, but what about this? I'm telling you right now, no plot holes. Like, she will answer it. And if I'm wrong, if I'm like missing something, you can obviously let me know. But from what I read, I got every answer to every question I possibly could have had. And I am just overjoyed at that, let alone like the writing is really good, like I said in this one, and it's just such a page turner. It's one of those stories where like it's not the most groundbreaking thing, seen it kind of before, told in different ways, but I just really enjoyed it. I was really invested in the story, and she does such a good job at casting doubt on so many people and like making you just like spin your head around, really just trying to solve it along with Belle. And just when you think that you might have figured it out, there's something else that happens where you're like, oh, but what about, could it be this person? Could it be this person? Is this person involved? But what about this? And there's just so many things that happen, not in like an overwhelming way, but there's just so many things that happen that like really make you second guess yourself. And by the end, you're like, well, I don't know what's up, what's down, what's left, what's right. I'm here for the ride. And that's exactly the reading experience that I had. And I'm really happy that I didn't try to like overly analyze it. This did go in a direction where I literally messaged Liv on Instagram and was like, if this happens, I am throwing this book across the room. And well, it happened, and then it didn't happen, and I didn't throw the book, but I can't say I was thrilled about it, but not in like it made me just really angry. Not that I'm thrilled that it like didn't happen in the book. It's fine. It worked for the plot, but like I just was left like, can't believe this person did that. So, there's that. also really loved it for that enjoyment level of it. It just really made me like care about the characters, and I just really was invested from day one. And the last thing I will say is that, and another reason why it's not necessarily like a 5-star, is at the beginning of this, they are filming a documentary, right? It's at the beginning called The Disappearance of Rachel Price. And then they're filming this documentary, and then all of a sudden kind of the documentary kind of falls away in the middle there, and then it's picked up at the end, and I think I would have enjoyed just a little bit more of having it sprinkled in the middle. I think that was kind of lost there for a minute. Some people might disagree with me and enjoy the fact that it wasn't in the middle. I think it was missing a little bit, but I am happy in the way that it picked up at the end. So, you know, a small little minor thing, but that's just, you know, there's little things that are making it not necessarily quite a 5-star, but like it's almost there. I had a great time. I had a blast. I really enjoyed my time. I freaking love Holly Jackson. -5 survival. Just pretend that didn't happen. I'm here. I love her. I love her writing. I think she's so clever. And after reading the acknowledgements, like, I'm so happy this book is out and into the world, because I think it would definitely, I think we would definitely be missing it for sure. I'm just so happy it's out there. So happy for her. Love it. Slam dunk. Another one. I will read anything that she does from here on out. What can I say? So those are all my thoughts and feels on The Reappearance of Rachel Price. I definitely would check it out. If you have similar reading taste to me, I mean, I highly recommend it. And yeah, I wanted to kind of end this video off with some good news, because if you've been following me for a while, and if you're new, I will, like, Cliff Notes version catch you up. I am a social media manager behind the scenes, like behind this in my real life. I am a social media manager, and I've been doing contract work for God knows how long. But I have been looking for somewhere to like kind of find a more permanent position. I was working with a company, what I thought was going to be a long-term contract, ended up being about just a year. And then I've been doing contracts ever since, and like behind the scenes trying to find something a little bit more full-time, still in the social media management world, but just something that wasn't necessarily like a contract. I was looking for a more like full-time position, and I finally found one. I'm so excited. It's like we're at the tail end of our like agreements, so it is a full-time like employee position, but I have to like sign the job offer and do all of that, which I'm doing today, and I'm very excited. So I mean, fingers crossed this ends up being like great news. I mean, I have the job offer, so I'm just like, I'm choosing to see the light at the end of the tunnel here, and I'm just over the moon about it. I'm very happy. It feels so good to just know that something is going to be a bit more long-term than contract, and I still get all of the like perks and benefits of kind of being freelance in this new job, which is nice. You know, it's remote. I get to kind of make my own hours and that kind of thing. Like, it's a very flexible schedule, which is just great. We love that. It's for a nonprofit, which is really fun. I actually haven't worked with a nonprofit before, but I'm very excited to kind of be in that space. I feel like it aligns with what I have been doing, so it just feels like the natural like next step, and it just feels like everything was like working itself out, which I just want to say, like, if you are going through a hard season of life, like, I absolutely understand being down in the dumps and in your feels about it and just feeling like you're flailing. I mean, I just turned 37. Like, at this point in life, my younger self expected to have everything worked out, this like long-term career and, you know, a picture perfect kind of way of living, I guess. And that just like is not the dream anymore. And it's also just like not in this day and age as that, like, does that work necessarily? At least from my eyes, like, things are changing all of the time, and unless you're going to like be a doctor, a nurse, whatever, like, and you have this kind of plan set forth, although I've seen so many people go through the schooling for that and then at the end be like, actually it's not really what I want to be doing. But it's okay to not have everything like figured out, and like this world of like freelance and contract, like, that doesn't mean that you're like failing in any sort of way. I have this really hard time of, and this just might be like a personal problem, but like some of my friends that I've talked to also feel this way. I have a hair sticking to my face, and I think it's just because the way that we were brought up, and like, you know, we're kind of in this, or at least for me, I'm in this like millennial, obviously, generation, or like on the verge of being like millennial. And it's very weird. Like, I feel like we've just seen the world change so much in our time, from like not even having technology as kids to now being in this technology space. Like, it's just so widely different. So like, you know, the path that you were on, maybe even like up until high school, you think like life has to be this one way, and you go out and you find one job for the rest of your life because that's what's drilled into you. And then as you start to go through life, and things have changed so much that it's just like, that's not the case. And I think for me, I've always had that like, every job should be this like long-term thing. Like, to leave a job is like this, not necessarily like a good thing. Like, I like to think in the long term. I've kind of had to like train myself to be a little bit more lax in that, and just realize that like, that's not the space I'm in. Also, like, this field that I find myself in the social media world, like, it's changing so much that like, it doesn't have to be that these short-term jobs like are still a big deal. And just because you're switching jobs every so often, like jobs, I mean like switching people that you work with, because the job overall is the same, but like, you know, I'm switching from this company, then I'm freelancing with this person, and I'm working with this person, and like, it changes all the time. Like, that's not a bad thing. But for me, being in the like tunnel vision mindset of like, I'm supposed to have this job for a certain amount, anyways, it's like I'm going in circles. But I want to let you know that like, if you feel the same, if you can decipher what I'm saying and feel the same, like, I'm right there with you, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Whether that is just you decide to just like let go of all your expectations and just roll with like the punches, and not think of it as like any sort of failure. It's all just growth, and you're just learning at every single stop along the way. Or whether or not like you end up finding a full longer term position, and that's what feels good to you. And it really just comes down to that, like, what feels good to you, what works for your lifestyle and what you want, and like, what does success mean to you. And I've definitely had to change what success means to me. And I'm really happy that I've done that, because at the beginning, if you had asked me this like a year ago, I would consider myself like a complete failure. Like, it just when you get let go from a job, like, it doesn't feel good, and it makes you feel a certain way. And even as like navigating like the freelance side of things, I'm like, oh, I don't know, like, I really like it because I get to learn about different fields and like work with a bunch of different people, but like, I also want a longer term where I can like continue to grow my skills in one space, and like, that's okay. And so anyways, I feel like I've had a lot of growth in the past year, but all of that to say that really exciting times, found a new full-time position, if everything like works well with our job offer within the next day or two. So, you know, we'll have to update more in the next vlog, but I wanted to end on that note and just give a little life chat, because I tend not to like overly talk about these kinds of things, but I do think it's important for you guys to like see this side, and like, not everything's sunshines and rainbows all the time. Like, I've been actively job hunting for a year and a half now, like 18 months. It is the job market out there, just everything in the world right now is crazy, but like the job market out there is crazy right now, and navigating this whole thing, trying to figure out like, which direction do I want to go in, and it's just a lot. It's a lot, so I'm like happy to kind of be, you know, I can't say at the end of it, obviously, because who knows what the future holds, but what feels like a arriving point, and that feels really good right now. And I just want to share like a little bit more behind the scenes. If you've been watching the vlogs, you know that this has been an ongoing thing, and it's crazy town. So if you are job hunting right now, I feel you. 18 months in, let me tell you, it is not a good time. It is not a good time. It is so hard out there, but just keep going after it. Keep going after it, and like really start to like think outside of the box. And honestly, that's what's allowed me to find this position in the first place. So that ended up working out perfectly. So if you're in it, I feel you. I'm sorry. I'm sending so much love, sending a hug, and I just wanted to end the vlog off on that with some good news, little life chat, and yeah, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you can relate to anything that I said, please leave a comment below. Also, please let me know if you plan on picking up the Reappearance of Rachel Price, because I really think that you should. And thanks for hanging out with me this week, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!
With you and I, the future is bright.